Hi, my name is Rachel Ike, and I'm an assistant professor in the Apparel Merchandising and Design program. Thank you so much for joining me today as we talk about our program, specifically talking about the creative and technical design options as well as product development. We are housed within the College of Human Sciences at Iowa State University. So welcome. First, I'd like to share just a little bit about our program of study. It's broken down into a few different areas of general education, pre-professional development courses, an AMD integrated core, which all of our AMD students take, and then it breaks off into different primary options, which I'll talk about here on the next page. There are 5 primary options that our AMD students can choose from. Like I said, I'm going to focus on creative and technical design as well as product development and innovation, which is a new option that we just started offering. There's also 3 additional options that, if you want more information about, please talk to the academic advisors that are associated with our department. So we have creative and technical design, which has a focus on apparel and ready to wear. Then we have our product development and innovation, which focuses on special markets, accessories, functional design. But then we also have product management and sourcing, merchandising and retail analytics, and fashion communications, which is also another new option for our students to take. So one of the questions that I typically get as a professor is, tell me a little bit about what's the difference between creative and technical versus that innovative product development option. So this is my description that I typically share with students as to what the difference is and what the focus is. So when we talk about our creative and technical design option, this really has a focus on more ready-to-wear products in that ready-to-wear market. So this is typically what you might find on racks at the store, for example, Target, which has a focus on fashion clothing and accessories. So as a design approach, these are typically the decisions that are made in the design process are really driven by trends. So forecasted trends that we research on our WGSN forecasting service that we provide for our students and provide access to. In this creative design process, our students employ a process that stems from inspirational sources as well as connecting to a brand's identity. But when we talk about our product development options, specifically innovative product development, this is really focused on goods, so our soft product goods, so still textile and kind of our fashion based for specific needs or performance. So for an example of this is what you might find at a very targeted retailer. So an example of this might be Patagonia, which has a focus of both like performance clothing as well as gear. The decisions that are made by our students are really driven by performance, and they employ a more functional design process that is stemmed from market as well as consumer analysis. So, for example, the students will conduct surveys or interviews with that targeted population that they're trying to design a performance product for, and those the responses from participants then drive the decision-making process. So that's very briefly how I would describe to the students the difference between creative and technical versus the innovative product development option. I thought it would be helpful to also provide you with just a few job title positions or job titles that when you go out and you're applying for jobs in the workforce, because there's a lot of different jobs that you will be qualified to apply for and work in, but those job titles vary so drastically from company to company. So this is just an example of some job titles that you might find when you're searching for application for internships or work placement connected to that product development option. So the title might be functional designer, a textile designer, accessory designer, shoe designer, home decor designer, a textile engineer, performance wear designer. You might be working in research and development, so an R&D position, or it might be the position of a product developer. This is an example here of Kate Bruce. She is originally from Chicago. She started working in the industry for Kate Spade, designing handbags, but most recently she took a position as a handbag designer with DKNY in New York City. While at Iowa State, Kate was one of our producers for the fashion show. Here is an example of some course content that you might find in that product development option. So off to the left, we have a table here where you can see that the student might take an introduction to fashion design as a studio class where they're learning to illustrate both by a fashion illustration by hand as well as technical drawings. The product development students are required to take a pattern making or flat pattern drafting course where they're learning to make soft goods such as backpacks and tents and outerwear. Students also take a quality assurance class, an integrated textile design class where they learn this, this software right here, which is Lectra. It is similar and it builds upon the skills that they learned in another class where they learned the Adobe Creative Suite. It's just diversifying their knowledge of different computer applications for design. Product development students also take merchandising classes as well as textile science, production management, and their capstone course, which is the product development and prototyping class, which I teach. So, you know, I'm a little biased. I do enjoy working with the students very much in that capstone experience. So like I said, the product development and innovation path, the students learn, you know, a lot of different computer applications along the way. They learn production skills, like, you know, how to go about constructing them using industrial grade sewing equipment. They learn how to pattern make and drape, as well as go through that innovative product development process that I briefly talked about in the capstone course. These students also have a focus of sourcing and manufacturing. So where in these classes, they'll identify and negotiate prices for fabrics and trims. They'll develop technical packages via a PLM system, which is product lifecycle management. This is a new software that we're offering this coming fall. It's called Backbone, if anyone wants to look into it. They also take classes where they learn about how to be most efficient in the production process, which then ultimately keeps costs low, which impacts that retail price point. And overall, just like supply chain management. So how to be efficient from fiber to in the hands of consumers. So here is another example, because again, different titles that you can work in with pursuing that creative or technical design option. So you could be a trim or findings buyer, a fabric buyer. They could work as a fabric or resource librarian, a pattern maker, a fit specialist, an assistant technical designer, an assistant fashion designer, a full-on technical designer, or a full-on fashion designer. There's a lot of different levels for these different design positions in the industry. This is a picture of Madeline Kim. She is an example of a more recent graduate in our creative and technical design option. Madeline is originally from Mason City, and she was able to study abroad in Italy. And when she was working on her senior line, she won a Best in Show award, which is very exciting. And then she started working at Abercrombie and Fitch in Ohio. Again, here is an example of what students may take while pursuing this creative or technical design option. As you can see in this table to the right, again, this is just one example. There's a lot of different courses that students can enroll in throughout their 4-year degree. So you have that fashion design class where they're learning the illustration skills in that intro to apparel design studio, the pattern making class, and more advanced fashion illustration, CAD pattern making. So over here, we have the students are still learning that Lectra software, which is design and like a fabrications focus on designing prints and repeats, as well as wovens and knit fabrics. But in that CAD pattern making class, they also learn Lectra Modaris, which is just another type of software that students learn where they're creating those patterns that they learned the basics for in pattern making 1. They're now applying that to a software setting. And in that class, they also learn Clo 3D, which is a 3D modeling software. So students can, use and create an avatar and then place their patterns that they develop digitally on this avatar to see how it lays, see how it comes together, see how it fits before you actually cut it out and sew it up. So this is one way that we see the industry moving in a more sustainable direction, because doing things in this virtual environment decreases the need to create physical samples, which then, generates textile waste. So that's a great thing that we're able to offer this new software. Again, fully fledged. We're plugging it into our classes this coming fall semester. So we're really excited about that too. Likewise, the creative and technical students have that apparel production knowledge about garment construction, pattern making, draping, and then collection development, where we have a course. It's the Senior Design Studio, AMD 495. Where they will research and conceptualize a 3 to 5 piece line, typically 5 piece, and source all the materials, create the patterns, fit it to models, photograph it, and then you'll see it in the fashion show. So it's really exciting. It's a very rigorous class, but it's a senior level class. We do prepare our students well to be successful in that, but it's a very exciting time for our creative and technical design students. The creative and technical option also prepares our students to step into manufacturing type jobs, where they are prepared to communicate the details of apparel products through technical specification, analyzing the fit, going back and being able to modify those instructions for mass production. And again, putting everything into that PLM system, that product lifecycle management system, which again is called Backbone. That's new. We're also integrating this fall. So excited about some of this new software that's coming in for our students. I also thought it would be helpful to share just one of our super successful grads, Todd Snyder, who graduated back in 1992, has really just given back to our program. And we are so thankful that, he has kept in touch with us and has embraced our students through internships and scholarships, and just in terms of even resources too. So, extra fabric, he'll give that back to our program. And so that then, save some additional costs for our students. So Todd Snyder, again, graduated in 1992. Owns his own company, has a clothing line that is sold through American Eagle, and this is based out of New York City. He originally worked for Ralph Lauren, then J. Crew, and other ones too, before launching his own line. Tailgate Clothing is owned by American Eagle, but this is also his company, and he's been nominated 6 times for various awards from the Council of Fashion Designers of America. So we are so proud of Todd Snyder, and we're so thankful that he just, stays in contact with our program and works with our students, and really just provides us with a lot of great opportunities for our students to network and pursue their dreams too. Again, what I mentioned before is we have that senior capstone class where they design their collection, and then if selected, through juried exhibition. So we have jurors come in, external jurors come in and review our students' work, and then they can showcase it in the fashion show, which is such an exciting time every spring for our students. And there's just a lot of energy across the whole university. So this is an annual event that is fully managed and ran by our students. You can enroll in a class, which is the Iowa State University Fashion Show course. So you can be involved in this class, and it can count towards your degree. So you can earn credits for it. You can be a part of the class just as like a committee member, or you can be a director or a producer, and that is a reviewed process. So you would interview for that position, but it's a wonderful experience to just be involved in the kind of the development and marketing of everything around the fashion show. Even just as a designer, there's a lot of opportunities that you can win some cash prizes, ranging from $300 to $2,000. There's just a lot of opportunities to showcase your work and be seen by some pretty influential people in the industry. For the fashion show, there's 13 different committees that you could be on if you wanted to be involved in that. And as a designer, you could enter your garments or your collection, so individual pieces or your entire collection, into different categories that are just targeted for, ready to wear, dresses. They have sustainability focused ones. There's just a lot of different categories that then have specific awards that go along with it. And we usually always bring in a guest designer to feature alongside all of our student work. So in the past, we've had Vans, Patagonia, and of course, one of our stellar alums, Todd Snyder. In addition to some of the scholarships and awards that students can win through our fashion show, there are also external competitions that many of our students do participate in. So an example of a few of those are the Fashion Scholarship Fund, the National Retail Federation, and the International Textile and Apparel Association. That's an annual conference where some of our students submit their creative work. It gets accepted. Some people are selected for awards. It's just a wonderful way to showcase all the great design work that is happening at our university. Some other competitions that our students engage in either on their own or is integrated into class is the AATCC design competition, which is the American Association of Textile Colorists and Chemists. There's also Omaha Fashion Week, Kansas City Fashion Week, and the International Woolmark Challenge, which is based out of Australia. We have some great design spaces too. So in our production studios, we have, just large pattern making tables that can be used to pattern draft. We have numerous body forms for draping, variety of sizes from children's wear up to plus size, both designing for men or women, or if you want to do a gender neutral design, you can use a dress form and create a design from there. And then we have all industrial level sewing equipment, so production equipment, so sergers, straight stitch machine, buttonhole machine, presses for ironing. So we have a lot of really just stellar equipment to help you turn your ideas that you can see like through illustration form on the picture on the left into a physical sample, like what's being sewn on the right. We also have a textile and clothing museum. This is a 500 square foot space that includes the Mary Alice Gallery. The winners of our fashion show each year are also featured in this space. There's the Danielson Conservation Laboratory, sorry about that. And then there's a great storage facility that just can house all of our historic costume collection. And there are some select classes that really use this clothing museum to send their students to like find historic pieces that can then be used as their inspiration. So the collection is used to teach 3 history classes, 2 ethnographic classes, and 1 museum studies class. And there are specific pieces that are brought out of the collection that are again used in the illustration class as well as in our pattern making and draping classes. We also have a digital apparel textile studio. There are some technologies that are related to body scanning, digital textile printing, which is what we see here in this example. This student is printing out a engineered print onto the pattern pieces that she prepared in our CAD pattern making system, so Modaris, and then place that print that she designed into those specific pieces. So again, we're not wasting ink, we're not wasting fabric, and you can design something that really looks seamless when you go to sew up those 2D flat prints into something 3D that can be worn. There's also embroidery, 3D printing. So we have a 3D printing space in there that students have used to create pieces that are worn as well as accessories or customized closures. So just, a way to further emphasize their inspiration into their products. We have a laser cutting machine, a felting machine, as well as a long arm quilter. So if you can come up with the idea, we can help you to fabricate it. We also just got a new 3D body scanning system, which is from Human Solutions. And this technology is, we're working it into some classes because it just came this spring. We're really excited about it. But this technology helps to create custom fitting apparel. 3D product development, which is including of apparel and soft good products for the automotive industry, as well as other just equipment applications. We can analyze our body shape analysis, and our 3D scans can also be used for animation and graphics, as well as computer gaming immersion. And some of the outcomes of like studies that are connected to 3D body scanning have been connected to like the health and fitness industry, as well as medical applications. So, you know, if you're really interested in not necessarily that ready to wear fashion side, but really want to get into like health and wellness and medical, you know, that product development, innovative product development option is for you. And, you know, learning this 3D body scanning technology, which we're integrating into classes this fall, you know, we just love to see that. And the output of some of the software that's connected to the body scanner can just give you like such precise measurements, as well as create these very detailed images. And you know what, when you look at these, what you're seeing is you're seeing these wrinkles, and these wrinkles tell us something, and we prepare you through classes to see in a different way, where, like, you know, where is weight when people put things in their pockets, where are things pulling for poor fit, you know, how is the fabric itself reacting to the body, you know, through this size, and how the individual is standing. So we can also look at like posture studies too. So there's a lot of applications for this 3D body scanner in the classroom. And we're also having more making spaces that are even coming down the pipeline. And these are going to be housed in our brand new Student Innovation Center. If you haven't had a chance to go check it out, please take time to go over and just explore the space. We're going to have a electronics, textile, and additive manufacturing space that we're still just getting kind of decked out. There's going to be soldering stations, various electrical power supplies. We're going to have numerous 3D printers. So we're going to have 22. There'll be laser cutters, there'll be dress forms, there'll be, you know, numerous production machines. So we have our lock stitch, our safety stitches, our overedge, our embroidery. We're going to have looms. So you can actually, if you come up with a custom woven structure, like what you would cover in that Kaledo class, you can actually come over into this making space and make that custom woven structure, as well as the knit. So in that Kaledo class, you learn how to make custom jacquard knits. Again, bring it on over into this new making space that's going to be coming in the Student Innovation Center, and we can make that idea a reality. So we're very excited about that space. And maybe, like, you know, you just want to stay in school forever and become a professor like myself. I am also a graduate of Iowa State University. I graduated in 2007. I then went and pursued my master's and PhD down in Oklahoma at Oklahoma State. And I, you know, worked a few jobs going around the US until this position opened up at Iowa State, which was really my dream, to come back and be closer to home. I'm from a very small town in Iowa, Hornick, which is kind of between Sioux City and Omaha along I-29. And, you know, just getting back home and being part of just really, truly a stellar program that offers so many different classes and so many different software and technology for the students. It's just been a wonderful experience. So I was able to come back, you know, and step into this position in 2018. So I'm very happy to be back in this at Iowa State University, helping my native, you know, Midwesterners to pursue their dreams, whatever those may be. So I just thank you for you know, listening to this presentation today, for being here and considering Iowa State University. And here is my email in the lower right-hand corner. It's RJEIKE. That's Rachel Jean. Then my last name is EIKE. And you can email me anytime. And I will happily answer your questions, or you can contact any of our academic advisors, and they can also help to get you in contact with me, because I just love to share how wonderful your experience could be here at Iowa State in our AMD program. So again, thank you, and I hope to see you soon.